Hallo, hier ist Michael Adamers von Stock Telegraph. Ich bin heute in Frankfurt, um mich mit Steve Williams zu treffen. Steve Williams ist President and CEO von Pasinex Resources. Die Aktie notiert an der Canadian Stock Exchange unter dem Symbol PSE und in Frankfurt ist das Symbol PNX. Steve, thanks for taking the time to talk to me and give me, some information about your exciting company. But first, your projects are in Turkey, so merhaba.
Merhaba.
To my Turkish viewers, I'm sorry if I did a wrong pronunciation. Anyway, so Pasinex is exploring in Turkey for zinc and copper. The main focus right now, as far as I understand, is the zinc project, because you came up with some really, really good results. But right now you're in Europe. So what's your connection in Europe, and what was the reason for you to come over to Europe?
Actually, that's easier and getting easier. About 50% of our stock is held in Europe, particularly between Germany and Austria.
Okay.
We've got a significant group of investors in Austria, and we're starting to build a lot of following here in Germany. And I think there is quite a large Turkish population in these countries, and I think people know a lot more about Turkey over here. There's a natural understanding, an easier acceptance of investments in Turkey here. So Europe's a natural fit for us.
Okay, that's perfect. Is that your first time over here? No, you have been
No.
I've
been here many times.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, and also to Turkey many times.
Okay. So before we start talking about the company and the projects, what's your personal background? So with Pasinex, you're the president and CEO.
Yeah.
But what did you do before Pasinex?
Yeah, I'm a mining guy. I graduated in 1976, which is a really long time ago, from the West Australian School of Mines in Kalgoorlie, Western Australia, in metallurgy, which is the extraction.
So you're originally from Australia? I could tell by the accent.
Yeah, people tell me that. So that was in metallurgy, 1976, and then since then I've worked in mines in Australia, in Canada, in Chile, and then I've also done consulting for mines in Mongolia.
Okay.
The Dominican Republic, in the Philippines. So I've been in mining all my life. I've also got an MBA from Tulane University in New Orleans.
Okay.
So I've done, from project work, metallurgy, mining stuff, through to business management aspects of mining.
Okay.
So I've been in mining all my life. I believe this is, to me, this is the culmination of a career. It's applying all our knowledge, all our passion, all our love for mining, and growing a company and getting them, first you start a mine and then building a company from there. And to me, that's the sort of where you should go. That's the ultimate culmination
I
of
agree.
career.
And to achieve those goals, you need a pretty good team.
Yes.
So what kind of team did you assemble within the company?
A mining team. Well, the other key person in the management is a guy called Clinton Smythe. He's our VP of Exploration. He's about the same age as me, so he's been all his life in mining. He's a geologist, geochemist. He's got a computer science degree. He's originally from South Africa. He's Canadian now.
Okay.
And his last job was VP of Exploration for Anglo American. Last job with a big company, where he was heading their regional exploration in Asia. He's been involved in exploration in Africa and Asia and North America. A really great geologist. Okay. And same thing. This is our passion. This is what we've done all our life, and it's really about applying that knowledge to build value.
That's right. Okay. A different question. So is there any meaning to the name Pasinex?
Yes.
Okay. Is it Turkish? It's not Turkish.
No, it's definitely not Turkish. It's 100% English.
Okay.
And I already sort of indicated in what I've been saying. It stands for passion, in exploration.
Okay.
So you created
that name, obviously.
Yes, I created that name. It came to me one evening. We went to PDAC a few years ago, and it struck me that...
at the PDAC, then I know how you came
So it struck me that, it's about applying your passion. I mean, if I really believe if you're going to build a company, you got to have passion.
No, I totally agree. Yeah. So the listing for the company right now is on the CSE, Canadian Stock Exchange. Used to be the CNQ or the CD.
CNQ and CNSX.
So they changed names a couple of times. Is that by intention, or are you planning to go to a different exchange, or what's the upside or downside being listed on this CSE?
These markets in the last couple of years have been tough. Very tough, and in fact, one of the hardest things for us has been that we put this company together in tough markets.
Right.
We kept focused on what we're doing, and it's going well. But my point is, people used to tell me, or have told me many times, that one of the problems with the CNSX, CSE, was that there was less liquidity in that market versus, say, the TSXV. But the markets have been so tough in the last couple of years. Really, to me, it's the same. There's poor liquidity. There's low share prices for juniors over there as there is over here. So to me, right at the moment, it's all the same. Second thing is they've just changed ownership. That's why they changed their name.
Ned Goodman
has come in, and you can already see changes on the CSE as a result of that. Their stock is available through the retail, trading on the big Canadian banks now, whereas there never used to be.
Right.
They're working on a number of fronts. There's a lot of companies. Actually, there's some companies leaving the TSXV coming across to the CSE.
Right.
So, I see all that as positive. And at the moment, we're getting some, reasonable trade. It's not great liquidity, but we're getting reasonable trade on CSE, so we're okay there at the moment.
Is there more trading volume on the German exchanges than on the Canadian exchange?
Yeah, we're also listed in Frankfurt, and actually recently, and that comes back to a point I made a bit earlier, that we've got, 50% of our stockholders are over here in Germany and Austria. We're actually seeing, probably in the last couple of months, as much liquidity in Frankfurt as we are seeing in Toronto, and that's why we keep coming back over here, because the story is starting to go here, and people are listening to us and are interested, and so Frankfurt's working for us. I'm very pleased to be on Frankfurt.
Yeah, and as you know, exploration is a long-term game.
Yes.
And the German or the European investors are at least known for being maybe a little bit more patient. Let's put it this way. Than some of the Canadian ones, but different.
There is differences, that's for sure.
So let's dig into the projects. Maybe you give us a quick overview about the various projects. Again, the main project is a zinc project, but there's also a copper project.
Yep.
And you inherited some projects even in Canada from the company was formed with an RTO with Triple Dragon.
Triple Dragon. Yes.
But they are not in the focus of the company. But maybe you give us a complete overview.
Yeah, well, I'll answer the last question first. It was a takeover of like a reverse takeover of this vehicle called Triple Dragon, and they had 4 gold properties in northern Canada. We've now got it down to 1 gold property, and really, I will at the right time,
Did you sell the other 3 ones? Or?
No, we released them back.
Okay.
And we'll probably do something with the last property in terms of either selling it or releasing it back soon. No, one of the things we did right from the get-go is we set our strategy, which was that we're going to be in Turkey, we're going to be in base metals, copper and zinc, and our target, back in saying, we're mining people, is the focus on building the asset and ultimately getting our first starter mine. Yeah. So that's our strategy. So given, Turkey, obviously the Canadian assets don't sit with that, and so that's why we've been taking them off. We've currently got 4 properties in Turkey. When we first went into Turkey, we picked up, we're focused on copper and zinc. And because we're focused on copper and zinc, that means you're focused on certain types of geology. So we picked up actually 21 properties in Turkey. And in our first year in Turkey, we sampled all 21 properties, and took 11,000 samples in our first year, which is a lot, because we sampled all our properties, and then we worked out the ones that we really wanted, and so we stripped it down to 4 properties basically. The 2 critical ones right at the moment that we're really focused on are our zinc properties. One's called Panagasu, one's called Akia. That's a joint venture with a Turkish mining company called Akmetal, and that's in the south of Turkey.
Okay, that's a 50-50 joint venture.
50-50 joint venture. That's in the south of Turkey, in the province of Adana. And then we've got a copper property, which is the other one we're sort of pushing ahead with. Is a copper property in the north of Turkey in the province called Sivas. The property's called Gölcük. That was acquired. That's 100% ours, and that was acquired from an option agreement with another Canadian company called Eurasian Minerals.
Eurasian Minerals, right.
And we've got one other property, also copper property, in the province of i.V.m, property called Darek. We've done some work on. We see some potential, but that's very much sort of plan B at the moment. So in terms of our focus, our two zinc properties in the JV, that's a major focus, and I can explain that. And then we're keeping going with our Gölcük property.
Yeah, and I would like to, for this interview, I would like to focus on the zinc project. Yep. We can, in a later interview, we can still touch the other ones. Just briefly, there's a 43-101 on the
Gölcük
copper
property.
Okay,
yes.
Perfect. So for the zinc project, is there kind of a target size which you have in mind?
Yeah, absolutely. This is high-grade zinc. It's actually zinc oxides that have been deposited in old cave systems, pre-existing cave systems. It's limestone hosted, and there was cave systems within this limestone hosting. And the zinc has been deposited as zinc oxide in these cave systems. So it's high grade. The size of the cave constrains the grade of the zinc, basically, and it makes it high grade. So we're expecting it to be probably 30% and maybe even higher. Our first intercepts the other day that we announced was 39% zinc.
Yeah. That's impressive.
Very impressive. So my target, I really think we'll get high grade. My target is to try and prove up or indicate a resource of 1 million tons of this high grade material.
Okay.
And with that in 10-year mine life, 100,000 tonne per year, 300 tonne a day is what it works out at. It's a small scale mine, but it has very good cash flow. Okay. This is ore that we think would be of the order of $500 or maybe even a bit higher per tonne. So it's very net smelter return, so it's very valuable material. So it starts to generate a good cash flow. 1 million tonnes, small scale mine. We think we could do something like that at Panagazu within 2 to 3 years.
Okay. And in Turkey, the infrastructure is, infrastructure is always important.
Yep.
Being in Europe, it's not like being in the Yukon. So I guess there's some way better infrastructure, but maybe you give us some more details about, is there water, electricity, roads, right coming to the project or close by?
Yes. The answer to your question is yes.
Okay, that's very easy.
Turkey, the government is a business-focused government.
Right.
In the last 10 years, they've been very focused on infrastructure. It's one of the things that they've really done because they recognise that having great infrastructure in Turkey was fundamental to underpins economic growth. So they've been very focused on that. So great roads, port development, electrical development, new airports everywhere.
Okay.
With our zinc property, there's a major road, 3 kilometres from our property, and then that major road goes down to the big city of Adana, and then from down there to the port. It's probably 2.5 hours trucking.
What's the population of this bigger town?
Adana?
Yeah.
Oh, it's 2 million.
Oh.
It's a big city.
Okay, wow.
Yeah, it's a big city. And that's only an hour and a half away. And probably 2.5 hours to the port. And electricity, Panagazu and Akia, if we looked at the map, Panagazu and Akia are back to back. Panagazu is the southern property and then Akia is the northern property. There's a major high voltage hydroelectric power line running right through Akia and actually right through where we know the mineralization is, or very close to where we know the mineralization is.
Okay.
So we've got electricity. There's lots of water here. There's a river, there's a valley, and there's a river running down through the valley. Infrastructure is a minor issue in Turkey. One of the advantages of being in Turkey is that they're great on infrastructure.
Yeah. And now that we have the map here, there's this Horzum mine. Yeah, that's operated by your joint venture partner, Akmetal, which is part of a larger private group in Turkey, right? They work in all kind of industries, right? It's like a big
Yeah, so well, there's a couple of things there. Akmetal, is wholly owned by a large family conglomerate business called the Kumel Group. And those big, large family conglomerates are common in Turkey. There's a number of big, large family businesses in Turkey. This is the Kumel Group. The owner is Kumel. They're in dairy, carpets, textiles, tourism, real estate and mining. Akmetal being their mining group. Akmetal's got 3 mines in Turkey. They've got a chromite mine, also in the same province as this, and a base metal mine and a gold mine. So they're a serious miner. Horzum, which is about 7 kilometres south of Panagazu, which is where we're operating right at the moment. Horzum was their first mine, and actually was their company builder, and not just for Akmetal, for the whole Kumel Group. They operated Horzum zinc mine, excuse me, from the 70s through the 90s, and in that 20-something years, they mined about 4 million tonnes of nearly 30% zinc from Horzum. A beautiful mine, a world-class mine by any standard.
So it's actually the same grades that you get, right?
Well, it's the same stuff. And what I wanted to say about that is that's actually the reason that we're here. You know, when we put the joint venture together with Akmetal, the owner, Najati Kumel, because this was his company maker, is very passionate. There's that word again. He was very passionate about this area, and he said that he thinks there's more zinc in this area.
Right.
We went down. Our VP of Exploration, Clinton, went down and looked at the area, and he came back and said, "Yeah, we think there's a good opportunity here. We agree with you." So it was because of Horzum that we went down here. The other thing to say about Horzum is that I made reference to these cave systems that have been full with zinc oxide. That's actually, this 4 million tonnes that they got out of Horzum, they got from mining 3 of these cave structures over about 270 metres in Horzum.
You call them chimney, right?
Call them chimneys.
Because they look like chimneys.
They look like chimneys, yeah. They're a bit wiggly, but they look like chimneys. These chimney structures over about 270 metres to produce the 4 million tonnes.
Right.
It's the same geology that we're looking at in Panagazu and Akia. What we're looking to define is mineralisation in these cave structures. The intercept we had the other day in Panagazu, 17 metres, 39% zinc, 85 grams silver. The 17 metres, 39% zinc was basically an intercept across one of these structures.
Okay.
We hit one of these structures, the drill, and across this whole structure, it was not completely, but mostly full of high-grade zinc. And so we know it's there. We know that these structures are there. We know that there's good high-grade zinc there. Now what we're looking for, and that's where we're actually going in the next round of exploration, excuse me, is looking for extensions of that.
Okay.
Basically, in that first hole, what we intercepted, or not, it wasn't our first hole, sorry, but the first significant hole, what we intercepted was one of these cave structures in Panagazu.
Okay.
So our priority right now is to step out and try and show extensions of that chimney, continuation of the zinc mineralisation. We get that, and we know that we're onto something of real importance here. And I think very quickly we can move from there to initially be mostly indicated, but we can move from there to starting to indicate the potential of 1 million tonnes.
That's good. And the local support or the community relations, I think it's way easier because you have a Turkish GV partner.
Yes.
Okay. That's
cool. One of our objectives was to build a mine. I really think when you're in this game, that's what you got to do. You got to build the resource and then ultimately build a mine. That's why people invest.
So that's the end.
That's the end game.
Yeah. Well, because a lot of companies, as you know, from Vancouver, they do exploration, they do development, and then they hope to be taken out. But with having a joint venture partner who is a producer and has experience in producing, it's, I guess, natural.
Our play is to push ahead and start a mine and then build a company from there.
Okay.
If in the go down that path, if somebody finally takes us out, well, that will be. But that's not the strategy. The strategy is to build a mine and build a company by building a mine.
Okay.
What I wanted to say is that the point about that was we knew going into Turkey, and it doesn't just apply to Turkey, it applies to a number of countries, that you should have a local partner. You need a local partner, and particularly for the reasons you were touching on. Obviously, government connections, connections with the bureaucracy, but also, really importantly, community connections, community relationships. And Akmetal are great. They're well known, particularly in the area of Adana. Their chromite mine is in Adana. The owner of the company, Jati Kamal, was born and raised in the next province called Kayseri. Yeah. So the family is well known in this area, well respected in this area. The community of Horzem and Kozen, which are nearby to where we are, Horzem was formed as a mining company for the Akmetal first mine. So they have pre-existing community relations, pre-existing relations across government in this whole area. Okay. That's very important when you're going into doing building a mine.
Yeah, I agree. So now we've talked a little bit about what you've already achieved. What are the plans for, let's say, the next couple of months? What are the milestones and catalysts you hope to achieve?
Yeah. So I already said that we've had this good intercept. Now what we have to do is to show extension of that, and that's where we're focused at the moment. So with the next round of drilling is very much focused on trying to show some extensions to this structure that we've hit.
Okay, and how many meters is your planned drilling program?
No, we'll do about, in the next round, we'll do about 1,500 meters, something like that.
And that gives you how many holes? Because you're not drilling really deep, right? So
no, they're not really deep. They're on average maybe 130 meters or
so
thereabouts.
10, 12
Yeah,
holes.
exactly. So the next step is to show extension, and we'll do enough holes to show extension. That's our objective. And with that, we will, I believe that we're going to have some success, but obviously that's to yet be shown. But I believe we'll have success. So we get the success, then, we'll look to raise some more money to do a much bigger program and start to infill drilling. And so then we'd need to do about another 30 holes approximately. Okay. To start to infill drill in the extension of this system. And with that, my plan would then be to take us in the first quarter next year, 2015, do our first resource and a PEA, first economic assessment.
Okay. And the task in the joint venture between Akmetal and yourself, your Pasinex, is that you are... based on your understanding and your technologies you're using, you're identifying the drill targets, and the drilling itself is done by Akmetal using their own equipment and their labor. So your drilling costs are fairly low.
Yes.
Is that right?
Yeah, absolutely. It's actually a very good fit between us and Akmetal and the joint venture. Basically, we control the exploration, so we control the technical aspects of the joint venture. It's all managed by our VP of Exploration. We bring in the technology, we bring in the methodologies, and we ultimately determine the drill targets. Akmetal, yes. How we started our drilling is we refurbished 2 old adits in Panagazu from the old small-scale miner. Okay. And then those first holes we drilled were all from underground in the adits. So Akmetal did all the mining, did all the refurbishment of the adits, made the bays where we could put our drill machines, or put the drill machines. They've also supplied the drill machines. The first holes we drilled were underground. The next holes we're going to be drilling are going to be some surface holes as well. Okay. That will be another drill machine, which will also come from Akmetal. So they did all the mining, and they've also been doing providing the drill machines and the drilling teams. Mm-hmm. So it's actually a very good fit.
I agree. Yeah, well, that sounds like a plan. Talking about another company where you're not affiliated with, but you have at least two directors on your board, is Zim2. Yep. Can you? And I know that Triple Dragon used to be a company which was set up by Zim2, then was a shell company. And what's right now your connection to Zim2, and how are they helping you develop Pasinex?
In a number of ways, is a simple answer to that question. Zim2 is still a very significant shareholder.
What's the percentage?
Around 10.
Okay.
10% of Pasinex, and obviously they still have board members, and really they've helped in a number of ways. They helped in some of the administrative aspects of the business, which is great because we're a small company. We're only 6 people, and our team is all technical focused, so we need some help on some of the administrative stuff, and Zim2 helps with that. But really the big thing they help me with is, and actually it's been particularly strong here in Europe, in Germany, Austria, is some of the marketing aspects, some of the bringing in potential investors, talking to people, networking, meeting people like you even.
Zim2 has a German fellow on board.
Zim2 is and he's a director of the company, a guy called Sven Olsen, and he's been great, and he's helped us with all sorts of networks and connections. And to me, that's the big value that Zim2 brings to us, and I've been grateful for their support.
Because you don't need guys who are talking into your mining, right? So you need guys who are setting the stage for you.
Yeah, the problem is if you get too many guys talking in your mining, they end up fighting with each other.
Too many cooks in the kitchen.
Too many cooks in the kitchen, yes.
Okay, so let's touch base on the share structure right now. So what's the number of outstanding shares, warrants, options?
Yep, we have a slide on that. We formed the company in March 2012, and since then we've raised in total, counting the first raise and then where we're at now, we've raised $3.7 million. Which in this market is not too bad actually, but one of the things that was always clear to me is that we've raised the money on people that believe in us and believe in what we're doing, and so our objective is to put the money to work. So and that's what we've been doing. We put the team together, we got the properties in Turkey, we've gone out there and we've been spending the money. So we've been raising money, spending money, raising money, spending money. It'd be nice to have a big bank account, but that's really tough in these markets.
Right.
So we're now, because we've been doing that and we've been raising, with tough share prices, we're now up to 71 million shares. Mm-hmm. Total fully diluted 81 million. We're doing a raise right now, which will close probably in a couple of weeks' time. So we'll probably be, when we finish this raise, we'll probably be at about 74, 75 million, and fully diluted about 84, 85 million. The other thing I should say about us is we've got some strong shareholders. We're just talking about Zim2, but we've got an individual and his supporters in Ontario, Canada. Okay. Who is a significant shareholder, and we've got a group in Austria who are significant shareholders. Okay. Actually, we've got 4 groups, the 2 I just mentioned, plus Zim2, plus the management, who between them hold maybe 70-75% of our stock. Oh. And those guys have continued to support us and really have been the backbone of us going forward. It also means that, actually we're quite tightly held. We only have 25% free float. So we're quite tightly held.
What's the percentage of management and insiders?
Yeah, management's got about 10%.
Okay.
The insiders, well, that depends on how you define insiders, because that major shareholder in Ontario is an insider. Right, okay. He's not on the board. Yeah. He's not management,
but because of
the percentage that he's got, he's an insider. So counting that in, we're probably looking at 40% in insider. But he's got a big block of that.
Right. Okay, so do you already have some analyst coverage in Canada?
Yeah, we just had our first valuation report.
Who published that?
A company called CHF Capital Markets. Okay. They're a well-known capital and IR group in Toronto. Yeah. And they did a report. We did an investor tour of Turkey end of May, beginning of June. And
just recently?
Just recently, this year. Yeah, just like the other day. And their analysts came on that tour.
Okay.
And went and saw everything. Went underground at Banagazu, saw the drilling machines. And then after that, he came back, and as the beginning of July, they released their report. It's a nice report, and if any of your listeners want to get a copy, they just need to let me know.
Yeah, no, I will just put a link under this video so that people can just download.
Oh, okay, that'll be cool.
You know, sometimes I listen to Rick Rule, being one of my favorite guys in the resource sector, and he has some kind of questions, and sometimes I try to adopt them. So the first one would be, what qualifies you personally to take my money in this resource environment?
I already told you. This is what I know, this is what I love, and this is what I'm committed to. Really, to me, it's as simple as that.
You also put your own money, right?
Oh, I also put my own money. Yeah, absolutely. And you know, I've been in the industry a long time. You know, I've learned a lot. Doesn't mean that there isn't always more to learn. There always is more to learn. But you know, I know a lot, and my other key person, Clinton, knows a lot, and this is what we love, this is what we know, and you know, we're passionate about this, we're committed to this.
Okay, and just regarding time, I only have one more Rick Rule style question.
Okay,
and that's, what is your plan if you don't get the results you're hoping for?
Well, it's always a point that's why you need Plan B.
Right. What's Plan B?
Well, the other properties.
Okay.
There's always a point, and you know, I think every junior faces this. You know, obviously you got your primary focus, but you know, sometimes you can be thrown curveballs that you didn't anticipate, and you know, if you get a curveball and you can't in a reasonable extension of time resolve that, you have to move on. And you have to go to Plan B, and so Plan B is the other property. In our case, we have, you know, Goljuk, our copper property, which we will continue to push ahead at. We're not at a fast rate, but it's going to continue, and we think that's a great copper property. And we also have one other. Is
there on the copper project? Is there any, let's say, yearly commitment, like money you have to spend on the ground to keep it in good standing?
Yes, so it's about, we have to, on the copper one, Goljuk, we have to spend about $250,000 a year.
Okay.
About that to keep it, and that's not a big expenditure, and we would just readily do that.
Okay, but talking about money, so, and talking just about the Zink project, so how much money in total would you need? Of course, I cannot pin you down, but ballpark figure, will you need to go into production to reach your goals on the Zink project?
Yeah, I think we've got a unique opportunity here for a couple of reasons. We prove up this, or start to not prove up, indicate that this chimney system and high-grade zinc, we can move that fairly fast. And the other thing you need to know here is we have our partners at Akmetal. They're mining guys. They really like mining. They do mining very well. They got all the wherewithal to do mining. So they want to get in and start mining this. So we're already doing 25 tons per day, which is very, very small, but we're already doing mining because Akmetal wants to do that. As we go through the exploration, they will continue to ramp up the mining. So I think we've got a unique opportunity to get this fast time and short costs because of, you know, Akmetal also pushing the mining. So at the moment, my guess is that I think we don't need to go to feasibility. This will be a very small scale mine, a very small scale capex. So I think we could do the exploration for probably another $5 million.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's really because I don't think we have to go to feasibility. We're looking at a small capex, and because our partners are going to be pushing ahead with some mining and ramping up the mining as we go. The other thing I haven't mentioned, and I should mention at this stage, you know, that 39% zinc, now that's intercept grade, that's probably not diluted mining grade, but even it's 30% zinc, at this stage we think there's a very good chance we can direct sell that material, what we call DSO material. If we can direct sell that material, we don't need a processing plant. We need to crush it, but we don't need to process it.
Okay.
Yet to be confirmed, but we would be exploring that in the next 6 months. Okay. And we'll have some good indication within the next 6 months as to whether we can direct sell that material. We're being told that we can behind the scenes. Okay. If we can, our capex is low. So that means that I think we can do this without significant debt financing.
Yeah. And the zinc price seems to be on a good run anyway right now. So what's your expectation for the zinc price? What are the parameters that are influencing the zinc price? A lot of this, I think, the drive in the zinc price came from the supply side, because the supply side will be limited. A couple of mines are shutting down worldwide because they are running out of material. So what's your expectation?
Yeah, zinc is now $1.08 today, $1.09, and if you go back 6 months ago, it was 85 cents. So it's already running up a lot. There's a lot of supply coming on the supply side coming off. Brunswick closed, Lachine's closing next year, and Century in a couple of years' time. Those are big zinc mines. I think, not just myself, lots of analysts now thinking that we're going $1.50, maybe even $2 zinc price in the next couple of years. Fantastic. I mean, those are, record high zinc prices. Zinc is already, I think, one of the, the strongest moving metals out there. So, it's just a great time to be bringing on a small high-grade zinc mine. It's a great time. I think we've got a great opportunity.
It's only a few other juniors looking for zinc projects.
There's not many out there. There's maybe a dozen or so juniors. There's not many people in the zinc space. So yeah, I think we can already, and we are already, I think, starting to attract attention because of that.
As the last thing, the stage is yours. Please tell the German audience or all the viewers why they should invest in Pasinex in general, and why he should invest right now.
It's a unique moment in time. We're focused on zinc. Zinc price, I believe, is going up. We've got the opportunity to bring a small, high-grade zinc mine on in 2 to 3 years, just when the world is going to be looking for zinc. It's going to be a very nice cash flow. It'll be a low capex, high value zinc mine. That's our focus. I think it's a unique opportunity.
Okay. I hope that I can touch base with you in a couple of days or weeks when you're back home, and maybe on Skype do an update and also talk about the copper projects.
Sure, I'd love to. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve. Ja, das war Michael Adams für den Stock Telegraph. Ich denke, ich habe hier ein sehr interessantes Gespräch geführt mit Steve Williams. So wie es bei mir angekommen ist, er hat wirklich sehr detailliertes Wissen, insbesondere über den Zink- und Kupferbereich. Ja, die Türkei erscheint mir ein sehr interessantes Gebiet, um überhaupt Exploration zu tätigen. Ja, wir haben eine wachsende Bevölkerung, wir haben ein gutes Wirtschaftswachstum. Man könnte sagen, die sind einfach hungrig, ja, dass dort jetzt auch Exploration weiter und Mineralförderung weiter betrieben wird. Und ich werde noch ein paar weitere Informationen zu Pasinex zusammenstellen in den nächsten Tagen und Ihnen dann zukommen lassen. Und auf jeden Fall nochmal mit dem Steve auch in ein paar Tagen oder Wochen nochmal ein Videointerview machen. Vielen Dank.